Hello and good evening. How are you all doing? How is everybody doing on this fine Saturday? Fine bank holiday Saturday, I should say, as well. Oh, now I just need to get a little bit set up here because I've got a bunch of stuff that I need to do for this board. Move the iron out of the way a little bit. I've got keycaps, got some solder, just in case I need it. I've got the solder pump there. Solder pump there. So tonight I'm going to be taking apart this lovely board. It's done fairly well, but it needs some work doing on it. Oh, hi, Ghastly Chicken. Thank you for the follow. So this board needs a little bit of work doing to it. The problem with it is that I got this Cerakoted, and the Cerakote finish isn't the best. I'll try and show you what I mean, but you can probably see down here there's bubbles, speckles, and it's all the way along the bottom. And so that's not grease or anything like that. That's just a terrible finish. It's just a terrible finish from it, which is a real shame. So what my intention is to do is to take the board apart, and then I'm going to be desoldering it because I have got the intention of putting T1s. There's Holy Pandas in it at the moment, and I'm going to swap it all over. But the intention is send the case to Salvin to get him to redo the finish on it. Ghastly Chicken asks, what keycaps are these? This is GMK Demonic, a set that was run quite a while ago, and in a very, very low quantity for ISO users as well. So first job that I need to get done is to remove all the keycaps. There's going to be some junk in there. It has been a used board. I need to find my little brush wherever it's gone. Here it is. So I need to brush it down. Oh, thanks. Thanks. Demonic happens to be one of the hardest keycap sets to take pictures of. Like in certain lights it's orange, in certain lights it's like a really like blood red, so you get a little bit of a mix sometimes. So I'm going to rip all these keycaps up quickly, and we are going to then start with the debuild process. So these Holy Pandas, they are going to be reused in a build in the future. I've made my own board, as some people know. I've made a TKL pretty much like this, and it's going to be getting made by Salvin. And so again, my intention for these Holy Pandas is that they're going to be moved into a new shinier board eventually. Ghastly Chicken, just so you know, you can still get, I think, GMK Demonic relatively easily. I think you've also got JTK Bread, I think, as well, which is just black and red, really. So if you wanted to hear the typing test for this video, for this keyboard, I have got one on my YouTube channel. I should set up some links. I'll set up some links. I'll send some links in a second, so you can have a watch of the typing test. These Holy Pandas are excellent, but this board needs to make way for T1s. So. So how are you doing though, Ghastly Chicken? You having a good Saturday? Or is it Or what is it over in your region of the world, wherever you're from? Very good Saturday. Nice, thanks. Nice and relaxed. Oh, good to hear. Good to hear. Hoping this is only adding to your relaxation on a Saturday. So these, as I take the artisans off, these are the custom artisans that I got made by Key Labs a little while ago. Come on, focus. So this is the Corvus. So this matches the black and red. You can see the little red sparkles inside there that match the Demonic. So I'll put him in there. You've also then got the Voodoo Master. Come on, camera. There we go. Then we've got the Voodoo Master, same sort of thing. You can see just around the sides there's like that golden shine of the red glitter that they've used in there. Then finally, well, not finally, but then the Draconis. Oh. So he doesn't have any red glitter in him, but he's a lovely shade of black and red and white. And then finally, the one that I've unfortunately had to shave down a bit and not been able to clear up quite so well is the Tropic Thunder. He's got the same sort of thing. You can see that I've had to shave him down. He was ever so slightly too tall for the for it. What I need to do is I need to get a polishing wheel and just finish him off nicely. But yeah, they're the 3 artisans that I got made for this for Demonic. Holy Pandas really do grip the stems of keycaps. Okay, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to put this up on the shelf. The space pot. Space decided to jump. So we're just going to give this a quick wipe down, get rid of any of the little bits of crud or anything like that. Sort of standard stuff that you get in any keyboard whilst you're using it. I'd probably say this is a cleaner of any of my boards, but you can easily see that if I bring it up, I'll bring it up in a second after I finish cleaning it. You don't want to see how gross it is. Bristles. You can start to see that the plate has started to patina quite nicely. So it's lost that it originally came relatively shiny, and it's lost that, and it's got like a matte finish, and it's just starting to slowly get a patina on it. These Holy Pandas, as I said before, will be getting reused. They'll be getting put into one of the Ace of Spades builds. Hoping it's going to go into the blue one, and I'm going to have GMK bleached with that. So that would be a really nice combo. And then the other Ace of Spades is going to be getting some of these. So these are my lubed spring swapped tangerines. Ghastly Chicken asks, brass plate. Yes, this is a brass plate. A very thick and solid brass plate at that. It was one of the ones that originally came with the Mech27. One of the things that they did do well in the group buy. The Ace of Spades, however, if you are asking that, won't be using a brass plate. I'm going to be using a carbon fibre plate for that one. So let's get this taken apart. So you can see the lovely maple leaf on the underside, and this is where the key part is that I don't really like. It's speckled all over, and it was a real bit of a miss from the guy really, who did it for me. Really nice guy, but just didn't do a solid enough job for me, which is a real shame. None of those are fitting. Interesting. My park tool isn't fitting for some reason. Again, they're not fitting. Those. Where are they? Too small. Thank you, man. Thank you. It is a lovely board. I am a big fan of it, albeit I can't get the bloody screws out of it now. Could have sworn that I used one of these last time. This might be a problem. I have to go find me an Allen key. Could have sworn that I'd used. No, it definitely doesn't fit. It's definitely too big. It's like some sort of in-between size. Yeah, that's too small. Scuff stream straight away, eh? Too big. One of these has to. Ah, there we go. Do brass plates take a while to oxidate? Yeah, yes, they do. They do take a while. They do take an awfully long time. But you can speed the process up a little bit by. I've seen people take them into showers and like almost force it to do it. Like rubbing their greasy hands all over it and stuff like that. Not my cup of tea really, but and in between iFixit size, that's the first. Yeah, it's using a Torx head for some reason, and I'm pretty sure that these aren't Torx head fittings, so which is an interesting one. So I'm having to. I think it's an in-between size for an Allen key, but a Torx head seems to fit. I've not seen somebody use a Torx head for keyboard stuff before. Albeit it would be mighty smart. And this is going to be a pain in the ass because it's not going to fit. Need a way of extending this. This is definitely a scuff stream from the start. See if I can get in there with that. Even undoing it? Not even undoing it. My problem here is that I've got there's 4 screws at the back that are ever so slightly longer than what I need them to be. Which is meaning that I'm going to have to do some jiggery pokery to get these out. You even coming out. can't even get it to go in properly. That's it caught. I might have to use do the most scuffed way possible and use a pair of pliers with it on the end there. Jesus. I mean, I think it is moving now, so. Are you even there? If it's loose at all. Definitely feels like it's loose. Let's have a look what we've got in the drawer that might be able to get this out. Because he's used some sort of weird off size, and because of that, it's going to make this extremely difficult to remove. Not what I was hoping for. The biggest problem here is that I can't get enough push down on it at the same time. Yeah, you might be right. It might be just sticky because of the pressure. Let's see if I can undo some of the other ones. The bigger problem is that the head of this is bigger than the head of that. I might need to nip out to the garage and go get the whole Allen key set if I can't get these moving. Come on. Sorry guys, I thought I was going to be able to get to the desoldering, the juicy desoldering part a bit sooner, but apparently not. What do you think of HMKB? I'm not sure what HMKB is. Can you? What is the acronym? Okay, so that one's out. So it might just be this corner pocket one that's not wanting to move. heavy metal keyboard drop. Oh, is this the... I haven't really heard of it. I'm assuming that it's a keyboard that's for sale on drop at the moment, is it? Heavy metal keyboard drop, bent steel. Oh, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it at all. Have you got a link? You're more than welcome to post it into the chat. I'll take a look. And give a lovely hot take on it. If not, put a bit in the hole and clamp on. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna possibly think about doing if I can't get these to start coming out. Albeit they're very bloody tight in there. I've also got the old pliers here. I'm 100% going to be swapping these out to other ones. Let's have a look what you sent. Oh yeah, I've seen these sort of things before. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of them. I prefer my boards to be large lump metal, pretty much. I mean, they've got a certain aesthetic to them. I quite like them, but the whole sort of bent steel seems a little bit of a cheaper way out. Does it have a price on how much these are going to be? Pricing. I mean, the pricing is extremely good. Like 170 for a TKL. That's really not that bad. So I mean, for me, probably not something that I'd go for. But if you're on a budget or you like the sort of bent metal style, then yeah, go for it. What did you think of it, Ghastly Chicken? Okay. It's definitely catching. Can't really tell if that moved it or anything. I definitely think it's coming up, but it's not come up that far. Maybe if it's loose I might be able to undo it. So you're going to be buying one of those, Ungodly Chicken? I have to say the yellow looked really nice. The yellow with Nautilus, I think it was. Come on. So the only downside to the iFixit kit is that the sometimes the little bolts on this aren't long enough. It will be TKL and 60. Wow. Oh, somebody's a baller. Nice. What key sets are you going to be putting it with it? it's loose, but it's not loose enough. Which is a real pain in the ass. See if I can put one of these in there instead. No. 9009 for the beige, 60 and black on white for the TKL. Very nice choices. Very nice choices. Okay. I can just feel it not quite biting. ISO TKL like yours. Ah, good to hear, good to hear. Another one of the ISO brethren, eh? You can hear it, just not quite catching, which is such a pain in the arse. I'm going to see if I can get a bit of separation between the two. Otherwise I'm going to have to put the Be Right Back screen up whilst I go to the garage quickly to go get all of the silly Allen keys that I've got. Or the Torx head screwdrivers that I've got. Do I have a Torx head in here actually? I don't. Okay guys, I might need to just take a break quickly. I'm going to nip to the garage very quickly and see if I can go get a proper Torx head screwdriver. Unfortunately, it seems that the iFixit stuff's not going to work here, so I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I have managed to find a bunch of Torx head screwdrivers in the garage. I've also bought some in. I've just tried one of the screws with it, so I'll just catch up on chat quickly. I guess the biggest problem is that it is going to be a relatively hollow sand, because it is just folded metal at the end of the day. How do you put stabilizers onto the ISO enter key? It's like any normal stabilizers. That they sit into the plate or into the PCB, and the cap just pushes down onto it. You should be completely fine. You'll see when I take this apart how it works. So what we're just going to do is I'm just going to get rid of these screws out of here. There we go. So I'm just going to open the typing test. You might end up hearing a bunch of stuff. In fact, what I will do is I will post the typing test video for this keyboard, so you guys can get an idea of how it sounds. It's you, isn't it? Okay. And also, watch it there. Feel free to follow the channel, because I've got a bunch more typing test videos coming out in the next few days. And then hopefully, once this board is back together and the ace of spades are all back together, I should have some more typing test videos as well. Okay, let's get the rest of these out. I'll tell you now that Torx head screws are not going to be going back into this board afterwards. Come on, you are loose. Sorry, this one, I don't want to thread it. Just undo this one. For some reason, it's just catching. It's only just attached, but it's still only just. There we go. Wow, you have a huge trackball. Is it good? I was thinking of getting one. Yeah, it's excellent. I'm actually using it right now. It's just off of the edge of the screen. Yeah, it's great. With a little bit of lube, funnily enough, it works perfectly. So here you can see how shabby the finish was. He didn't bother doing the inside, which bummed me out a little bit. And you can just see like the attention to detail is all a bit meh. A bit meh with him. So it's going to be going to Salvan, who does a way better job, and he's actually doing the ace of spades for me, so got that going as well. Okay, so let's just tidy some of this up, because I'm not going to need all of this gear now. And really stupidly here, the guy who made this 27 has used a he's used Torx on the outside and then Allen keys on the inside. Oh, yes, I had it sort of resprayed. So it came as an anodized finish, and it was grey. And the anode job that they did on it originally was a bit lack. There was parts of the board just weren't anode properly. It was a bit scuffed when it got here. It was just one of those ones where if somebody put a little bit more time and effort into it, it could have been an amazing board. And also that he didn't just not send out a bunch of people's stuff. So what I did was I sent it off to I took it to a local Cerakoter's, and I got it Cerakoted black. The guy's a very good Cerakoter in the country. He is regarded as one of the better ones. However, he sort of did an okay job. He does an awful lot of guns and stuff like that, so he could have probably gotten away with it being on guns and sort of weapon use sort of thing, but with a keyboard it didn't really cut the mustard for me, and so I was a bit miffed that it'd come out this like this. So we will be getting it sandblasted, so it goes. We can cut it back to sort of a bit more of an original colour, or bare metal at the very least, and then we'll Cerakote back over the top of it to get a much better finish. Get that done by Salvin. Let's take this apart. The ironic bit of the whole thing is that all of this section here is really, really, really well done. Like here is really well done. It's kind of silly the fact that the outside of it is being done so badly in comparison. Could you get it powder coated? Yeah, I could get it powder coated. You would end up getting a finish. I could get it powder coated. You could get it in a finish sort of like this. So this is one of my other boards. Oh, come on. The problem with it is that you've got clear defined seam lines there, and it's just not yeah, it's a bit of a rougher finish. Well, I say rougher, it's very, very smooth. It's just not anywhere near as even. And so if I wanted to, I'd probably get it Cerakoted, because Cerakote's a better finish in my eyes. I'd probably end up going down that route. So okay, so we can now get on to the portion of the build which I was hoping to have gotten to about 30 minutes ago, but we are going to now desolder this. So I've got my Hacko just off the side here. We're going to boost the we're going to turn it on. So I have got it to set to 320 degrees centigrade. And that should be more than hot enough for us to start roasting this thing up. I've only had yeah, so the keyboards behind you, I've got two of them. So the two Tron ones there, they've both been powder coated by the exact same company at the exact same time, and the finishes aren't identical. I don't know if it's just because I happen to choose a bad powder coaters, but it's not the best. I'll show you what I mean after I've just gotten tidied up here a little bit. That's Torque's head. You go there. Maybe it's just that I've got a bad place. Yeah, I mean Salvin's stuff. He's done a little bit of work for. I think the guy's name is Pusher. He's on the Top Clack server an awful lot, but he's had a board done. So I'll grab these two. They're quite heavy. So these are my two Tron boards. But you can see, if I put them next to one another, they're not the same colour. It's not the light either, they're not the same colour. And it's not the type of metal, because they were done at exactly the same time. They're really nice colours, but just not exactly what I was hoping for. Realistically, I'm not going to change them at this point because they are quite old. They're both my clicky boards. Okay, so the soldering iron is now up and going. So let's just give the iron a little bit of a clean off. Where do you get your stands from? My stands are from Laser Ninja. I bought them from, where is it? It's the Australian one. Clack Keys? No. I can't remember the Australian Daily Clack, I think it might be. It's the Australian keyboard seller. I think it's Daily Clack. But they're made by a guy called Laser Ninja, and he just happens to sell through Daily Clack. They're a bit more expensive, but they're really, really, really nice stands. And I mean, I've had the Norbass sitting on them. I had at one point 5 TKLs behind me, and I mean TKLs are not light boards by any means, so it seemed to hold them fine. There's right behind me, you can see the big switch tester there. It's holding the big switch tester up nicely as well. Oh, I will show you guys towards the end. Do remind me, I got a present from Laser Boost. I've just done a rather large order with Laser Boost not so long ago for my Ace of Spades, the TKLs that I'm going to be getting from there. I've got a Ace of Spades plate that's just off screen in copper, which I'm going to be patinaing fairly soon. I'm going to be doing a forced patina on it. But they nicely sent me through a little present, and unfortunately it does mean that my final build is now going to not be the final build. There's going to be another one. So what switches are you prepping the Mech27 for? So behind me, to be fair, I've got a few options here of what can go in the Mech27. So those tangerines that I showed you earlier, they could go in there. I have got some UHM WPE stems in cream housings. I've got those. I have also got some not quite finished, but there's a battery in there for some reason. Battery's snuck in there. But I've got some T1s that I'm lubing, spring swapping, and filming. I'm swaying towards the idea of T1s at the moment because of the lovely RGB-ness that I'll have for them. Just so you guys know, this isn't the original PCB that came with the Mech27. This is the C3 LDN, and I'm going to be actually getting a revised copy of this C3 LDN because I managed to jump into the what was it, 0.9 polycarbonate C3 that he's coming out with. But this is a per key RGB TKL PCB that happens to fit the Mech27. It'll fit the, I think it, what else does it fit? It'll fit the TX87, stuff like that. It'll fit some of the more standard TKLs. I think it's the 87, the H87 layout, I think it is. so the same thing as honeybush. Have any of you tried T1s yet? Nice. Gutted I missed out on some of those tangerines recently. Yeah, I missed the sale that was on, what was it, the Key Company. I missed that entirely. I managed to get mine off of Alum KB. And funnily enough, I'm actually going to be getting some more C3s. So the C3 TKL polycarbonate board that that Equals Ray is selling has been delayed, and the aluminium one was delayed as well. So there's a bit of a sort of a thank you to us for staying within the group buy. He's actually thrown in, I assume that he's throwing in 90 tangerines. He said that he's going to throw in tangerines for us for free for each board. So I've got another 90 tangerines coming in there. And I do have to say the tangerines do sound really good once you lube and spring swap them. And I've also been filming them as well. Let me know if you don't plan to use them. Unfortunately there's a queue of people at the moment that want these tangerines off me already. I haven't even got them yet. I do have to say they are a very pleasant feeling and sounding switch overall. They are extremely thocky, which makes me extremely happy. Yeah, the flavour of the month definitely, but I can see why. I've had a bunch of linears in the past, and I've still got some linears, but I would say that they've got a better sound than inks and creams, and they're probably easily as smooth, if not smoother, than inks. They're moving on to Telio levels of smoothness. Albeit I'm going to be trying to get my hands on some H1s. I've been hearing nothing but good things from those, and I would very much like to put some of those into a board. One of the nice things about building your own TKO is that you have a bit of a push on the design. So one of the things that I really wanted to do was make a hot swap PCB. So I will show you in a second. I'll show it off now actually. Okay, I'm gonna have to be very careful. I'm going to get a rag because it's a copper plate. If I touch it with my hands, it's going to tarnish like nuts. So this is my copper plate. So this is my TKO. So this is the Ace of Spades. So I'm trying to hold it so that I can show you it nicely, whilst also. So this is the Ace of Spades. So you can see my little Ace of Spades logo down there. Oh, my hand is touching it. Well, I'm going to be force patinaing this, which is sort of stupid. Like why I'm going nuts over not touching it. But this is my TKL, and so I don't know if you can see. There's like little screws all the way along, and it's not fully bolted in because I was playing about with it beforehand. But the idea is that I've got these little screws on the top. You can see the little black screws here. There's one over here, one here, and that just holds the plate in place. So the PCB in place, so that with hot swap it doesn't fall out. This, funnily enough, this PCB isn't hot swap. I'm just double checking the test fit and all of that. Put that off to the side there. Just double checking the test fit, but the idea is going to be that if you buy a hot swap PCB, that you're going to get those little mounting pieces, so that the PCB doesn't fall out when you put all the switches in. Like GMK matte quality. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It's KP Republic, so. Oh, these, I've had one of these in the past. They're really nice desk mats. They're decent quality. I mean, I've got the Zambumon one here. It's off the desk because I don't want to ruin it whilst I'm doing this. But almost identical quality, really, if I'm honest. Why do you patina the plate? So I want it to be blue. I'm going to force patina the plate to be that sort of turquoise blue colour. And the weight that is going to be on the underside of my board is also going to be forced patina as well. I don't know if you guys have ever, if you've seen, is it Clavier's TKL that he made? I want to do something like that, where you've got a beautifully forced patina plate. It makes it that sort of like copper and teal sort of colours. That's a really nice plate. Does brass provide a different sound / feel to steel at all? Regards to feel, not really. It's a very similar feel. It's solid, doesn't move. Oh, so you mean copper? So between copper and brass, there's no difference. No difference at all between copper and brass. It's just the aesthetic colour difference. And funnily enough, the cost price between copper and brass, for me, there was nothing. There was no difference in price. For the people that are in the group buy with me for this board, I did a private group buy. It's called the Ace of Spades, and there is only 13 boards being made in this, what is a prototype run. They only had the option for brass, simply because of the fact that you probably just saw me there. I'd happily handle a brass plate with my hands. I wouldn't do it with copper. Copper, you'll just end up ruining the finish very quickly. It looks cooler, but if you get a nice big fingerprint on the middle of it, it's ruined. So. I believe if you have a chat to the guys at Laser Boost at the moment, they are doing a discount at the moment on copper plates, copper and brass plates. Have you had any experience with Everglide switches? Not really, no. I've tried some at the meetups. James AKB brought some Everglide switches along to the meetup. I actually bought them for him in the Taobao group buys that I've done in the past. However, I'll be honest with you, they do just feel like Telios. Like the ones that he had, they just felt like Telios. Oh, bloody hell. Hi RHK, thank you for the follow. are Everglides something that you're thinking about for the future then? Yeah, planning to pick up a couple of things from KP Republic, and I saw them. Oh, nice! I think they pop up on drop every now and again as well. Albeit, as far as I understand, they are the Zeal clones. Or very close to the Zeal clones. Was interested in the amber oranges, maybe mixed reviews though. I've not heard about the amber oranges. Are they what style of switch are they? Yeah, it's a bit nuts really, the fact that that you've got what would be fake Zeal switches that are out there under a different brand now, being happily sold on KP Republic. In fact, I need to get something from KP Republic as well fairly soon. I need to. So I'll show you this as well, guys. Hold up. So just off the screen here. So as a little present from Laser Boost and keyboard plates, they decided to send me a plate, and the reason they sent me the plate was probably partially because I made a bigger order, but if I bring this up you might just be able to see you've got Pikachu here, the original Game Boy Pikachu, Ash is here, Gary is down here, you've got a lass, a little tree, everything. So yeah, they gave me this little OLKB plate, and it's really nice, really little. And unfortunately, that does mean that I now need to build another board. So I need to find a plank PCB, a plonk PCB, or whatever you call it, because I want to go hot swap. But I want this board to be like a little bit of a tester one. And I've then got to get a case for it, and funnily enough, I can't find anything on online that is like a nice high profile case, so it does mean that I'm going to have to go down the route of going for the KP Republic one that they have, ditching the plate that they give you and just using it like that. Or the other idea that I did come up with was getting Andy to design me a PCB. Drop is selling the plank high profile case. Is it really? Would you be able to send a link? I'm very interested in that. We've just heard this song, haven't we? Let's start this again. Cheers, thank you very much, Ghastly Chicken. I'll definitely take a look at that, because finding a nice high profile case, and hopefully they sell it with the hot swap PCB as well, because that would be just dope if they did. very much. Hi Jampot, how you doing? I'm doing very well, thank you. Let's have a look at this. So this was the one that turned me off a little bit from it. I'm not a fan of the way that they've done the underside of it. It's a bit for me. And for $125, it's a bit expensive compared to the KP Republic one, which is quite a lot cheaper. I won't search for it now, actually, I'm saying that. But to be fair, I wonder if you can just get the PCB on its own. And those keycaps as well. I'd love to just be able to get the PCB and the keycaps on their own. Yeah, I'm trying to get an Ortho 40% board, Jampot. I got given a, I've just shown the plate off. I got given a Pokemon plate from Laserboost. The keyboardplates.com, you know, the one that did all of the little custom designs. They did the off-white cut style ones, and they've done a Pokemon specific one. And when I got in contact with them about the Ace of Spades plates, they actually dropped me a line saying about it, and they I wasn't that interested in getting a 40%, as I don't really like going for anything under TKL size nowadays, or under 66%. And but they just included it in the copper plate order that I made. So it looks like I'm going to have to build a 40% now. What soldering iron do you use? So I'm using the Hakko FX888D soldering iron. I had a what's the really popular one? Jampot. What's the really popular soldering iron that Jay uses? The TS100, I think it is. Had the TS100 beforehand, and it blew up on me. The power supply crackled during one of my streams, and literally just after, when I was testing it out, it went pop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the TS100. It's one that looks like a pen, and it comes in like a copper colour. But yeah, I might be selling my plank sometime, to be honest. We'll let you know. I have a high profile case, 3D printed plate in Gap Blacks. Well, Jampot, I've got a plate already, obviously. I'll be more interested in the case and the PCB, but yeah, let me know either way. Yeah, GLC. It was just the actual power supply itself. It made it during the stream. It was really weird. Like, I started soldering something, and it just, like, people in the stream even noticed it, and it made this weird crackling sound. And I thought, I was like, that's kind of scary, kind of weird. And then so I finished the stream off, and it worked to the end of the stream. I started moving the cable about, and it just went bang, like just bangs, like a little bit of smoke came off of it, and all of the lights in the house went out, and the surge protector that it was attached to, it killed the surge protector off. The upside for this for me was that I'd only had the TS100 about about what, 2 weeks. It was probably my second stream using it, and it was well within the Amazon warranty period, and so they gave me my money back, and they also paid for damages because it obviously wasn't safe, and so they paid for a new surge protector. They paid for the damages that it caused, and that, funnily enough, because the TS100 was so expensive, that I bought my TS100 with additional tips, other bits and pieces. It was probably what, 80-ish pounds, 70-80-ish pounds. I bought a bunch of extra tips because I knew how much soldering I was going to be doing, and I just thought, all right, let's find another soldering iron. And with the money that they gave me for the surge protector and everything like that, I managed to actually have enough. I ended up with like 120, and that ended up being enough for the 888D. So and I've always wanted a Hacko unit for soldering. The amount of times that I've been to Pexon's house, and he's done cables, and we've done like keyboard building and stuff like that. The amount of times that I've been round there and he's done all of that stuff, and he's got an 888D, and that thing just does not skip a beat. Yeah, about that. Mine was £60 with one tip. Yeah, I bought mine with the multi-pack of tips. Yeah, it's mad. 150, yeah, 150 plus for them now. Yeah, I mean, mine was 120, and that was prime delivery, and that came with an extra tip for it. Came with obviously the stand, everything like that. I think it came with a reel of solder, but I think I binned the reel of solder instantly. Albeit, I would 100% say, if I could go back in time and I could say to myself, just skip out on the TS100, go, just get yourself a Hacko immediately. You won't be sorry. I would definitely go back and do it, because this thing just heats up so quickly, and it doesn't skip a beat. It doesn't make a crackling noise. It hasn't faltered as of yet, and I know I'm now jinxing it, and the thing is going to blow up on me after I come off the stream tonight. But yeah, it's just been an excellent soldering iron, and I really wish I could have just bought one earlier, bought one sooner. Yeah, Hacko and Weller are definitely worth their names, reputations. Yeah, 100%. I mean, if I looked at some of the Weller stuff, I got a very cheap Weller iron as my very first iron, and that thing was way hotter than it needed to be. But the Weller iron was an excellent iron for what I had back in the day. And I mean, that was only a cheap one. But if I could go for, I mean, if I had the choice between an expensive Weller and an expensive Hacko, I mean, they're much of a muchness at this price, that sort of price range. I do remember one of the pain in the ass things about this PCB now. The ISO enter switch is literally touching the RGB LED for the ANSI sort of ANSI backslash. got to be very careful is you might just be able to see it here. So at the end of my fingertip is the RGB LED, and you can see the little dark mark. What I'll do is I'll bring it up and you can see it. The PCB's PCB's a little bit burnt, but you can see just there. That little bit at the end of my fingertip is the RGB LED and the solder pad for the ISO enter. So this is going to be a bit of hickory pokery to get this thing out. I think it's free. Albeit I think I might have melted the RGB LED a little bit, albeit it's not going to be used in the future. So Jampot, you did miss the Ace of Spades plate and the PCB that I was just showing off. I had it on stream for a minute just to show off my copper plate. That's not going to be very copper coloured for much longer. Would you like to see it like a little bit later in the stream? Oh, bloody hell. Hi, Tokus78. Thank you very much for the follow. I need to turn those those follow notifications down. They're scaring me. I'll try and bring this a little bit more so you guys can see this a bit better. So for the British among you in here, what are you guys doing over the bank holiday weekend? I've had a what would be a 4-day weekend for this bank holiday. Had the Friday off, and so we went for a nice walk, and going to be having a gardening day tomorrow and a chilled one on Monday, hopefully going for a bike ride. Hopefully the weather picks up for tomorrow, because we're going to have a barbecue in the afternoon as well. I can sort of set it going and set and forget almost. Gardening and housework, yay. I don't know if that's a sarcastic yay or a non-sarcastic, but as you get older, gardening does definitely get better. I have a certain affinity for mowing the lawn now. Sorry, sarcasm. I mean, doing housework and gardening work's not too bad. It's not like a proper job. Take your time over it. So I'm hoping that I'm going to have a few good keyboard builds coming up in the next few weeks. So I'm hoping that the bits that Cronborg has sent me will be turning up this week, which means I will be rebuilding the KBD 8X, which is just here. He bought the KBD 8X off of me, and I'm going to be rebuilding it for him with lubed and spring swapped, and now filmed what are they? Inks. We've got inks. Going to be doing that for him, and then hopefully the week after that we're going to have the Polycarb Zero in, and then hopefully the week after that we'll be able to build this Mech27 again with T1s. My other half enjoys gardening, but she lives about 15 miles away. Hers looks lovely, mine is acceptable. I mean, acceptable is still better than growing wild, so it's not a bad thing. And so to continue with the builds, after I've done the Mech27, I am hoping that the Ace of Spades will be here by then, and which will mean I will possibly have two Ace of Spades builds to do. One with the tangerines, and the other with the Holy Pandas from this. The Hacko is going for $2.25 on Amazon. Oof. Alright. Anybody want a Hacko, used Hacko 888D? Yours for the low price of $2.20. Why has the price of Hacko's gone up? Is everybody soldering at the moment? Either people are soldering or they're baking. One of the two. Hey, you found them a website that sells them for $120. The one thing that you've got to be really careful with Hacko's is that they are commonly faked. So just be very careful. You'll get something that will do soldering, but likely might well burn your house down at the same time. So just be careful what you get. Japanese import not shipping over here at the moment. Oh, you can actually get them from the actual proper legit Hacko website. Wow, okay. I mean, if you can get them for $120 off the Hacko website, do it. I mean, how many do you have to buy and sell to be able to afford a keycard? I'm not saying that flipping is a good thing in the keyboard community, but as long as you keep it outside the keyboard community and to the soldering community, yeah, go for it. Sorry, I was being sarcastic. Don't just go buy all of the Hacko soldering irons now. Sounds like you've managed to catch them right on the restock then. I mean, if you are in the market for a good soldering iron, go for that. $120 is a very respectable price for a hacker. To be fair, I mean the space needed is not too bad. I mean, you've got this, and the actual base unit is no longer and wider than this really. So you pretty much got just 2 of these that you got to place somewhere. I've sat mine at the back of my desk. I mean, if you are in the market for one, I can highly recommend them. I mean, Pexon's had his for a long old time, and I mean, he's made some ungodly amount of cables in the past. I want to say that he's definitely made over 1,000 cables quite easily. I'd have to ask him exactly how many cables he's made. I'd be interested to know exactly, like, when he's going to have his sort of 10,000th cable or something like that. And he swears by his, so. Okay, we're nearly on the final row of switches now. But I have got a couple on this bottom row still to do. Saying that. Come back to that one in a minute. So have you guys got any questions about desoldering or anything like that? Have any of you done any of this sort of stuff before? Happy to answer any keyboard questions that are out there. I know that there's a few people watching that are probably currently lurking. If you've got any keyboard related questions, I might be able to help you out, you never know. Been in the community a few years now, so. Yeah, these engineering pumps are good. The only downside, so you can see that I've modded mine ever so slightly. I've put some hockey tape around mine. And it's currently sticking a little bit, so I might lube it up again. But I put some hockey tape around it because it gets very slippy after a while. Oh, Ben's here. Hey, Ben. What's your favourite key on the keyboard and why? I have pause break, this one up here, as my favourite key, but that was because I made a macro that would open up Chrome and start playing Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. Alright, let's open this up. Go on then, Ben, I'll knock it back to you. What's your favourite key on the keyboard then? You're going to take the mickey like that. Munster. Asks, what exactly are you doing? So this board here was my Mech27 V2, and it has got Holy Pandas in it, and I have decided that the Holy Pandas are going to be moved to a new board, and I'm going to put something new into here. So I'm now just taking the switches out, so I'm desoldering them. Bit by bit, I'm going to take them all out, as you'll see in the stream shortly, and I'll then rebuild this with T1s, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Or if you're asking what am I doing exactly now, I am just lubing my soldering pump. So I'm just putting some of this dry lube onto the seal of it so that we can get a better suction. And so what I'm doing is I'm heating up the pads, which is making the solder that's holding the switches in place liquid once again because of the heat. And I'm then able to use this desoldering pump to suck the solder back up. And then the solder's just getting thrown in a little pot. So, there we go, much better. So the idea is that, I can show you very quickly, the idea is that you put the soldering iron onto it, it turns it to liquid. Oh, there's not enough on there. Let's just add a bit of solder to that. Okay, so the pad is now, the solder that's on the pad is now liquid. I'm going to use the soldering pump to just pull up the solder, and so that gives me the little bit of solder that was in there. That's the bit of solder. And so you should now be able to see that this one here has now not got any solder inside of it. It's got no solder in there. The board looks a bit messy now, but I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol to it in a little bit and just give it a decent clean through. Ben does have more keys than me. He's got more keys on his keyboard. Piece of solder stuck in the end of it now. Did that answer your question, iMonster? Is this any good? Let's have a look. I've seen these about actually. There's a couple of people in the UK community that have had them. They seem pretty good, to be fair. I think the downside to them is that you do have to have a certain thickness of board. I think it does say in there what thickness you can have, so I wouldn't be able to put like a Mech27 in there. It would be just too big. If you're in the UK, I think Mechboards UK has also got some desk stands that they're selling. Oh, sorry guys, you're not getting to see any of the sweet action here. A bit of solder stuck at the end of this now. There's a few lumps of solder just getting stuck at the end of this this desoldering pump. One thing that I can highly recommend to anybody, if you want a really nice desoldering pump, the engineering SSO2 is excellent. Not expensive either. It's not one of the Hacko desoldering station things. If you're making mad money, then get one of them. That's not good. There we go. It seems to be getting caught now. Let's get this apart quickly. Seems to be getting caught on something now. Oh, bloody hell. Hey, Poncho Frito, thank you very much for the follow. That's free. I'm going to get those stands instead. Thanks. Much better. Which stands are you looking at? The ones from the KP Republic, the ones from Daily Clack, or the ones from My Keyboards? My Keyboards? Mechboards UK. Oh, Mechboards UK. Yeah, they're quite nice stands, aren't they? Yeah, the guys over at Mechboards are nice guys as well. Always good to support them. What is going on with this thing? I don't know if the solder's going up far enough or something, or if there's enough solder going up. Try loading it up with a bit more solder than normal. Probably used a different type of solder for this top section. Slightly more solder is better, I think. Normally it does take a couple of passes to take the actual solder, all of the it does take a couple of passes to take all of the switches up, because some of the switches will have a tiny amount of solder still left on them, which does mean that you just have to go random once again just to get rid of the to get them loose. I found my pump struggled with desoldering a board from factory. Probably crappy solder though. Yeah, so if you've bought a board in the UK or something sold for the UK market, it has to be lead-free solder. To comply with, what is it, ROHS compliant, well, for it to be ROHS compliant, it has to use non-leaded solder, and non-leaded solder in general does not flow as easily. It's got I've always found it to have a much higher melting point, and it just doesn't flow very well. Yeah, that's the one. There we go. It's just gotten some junk in it. I was just trying to get it out of there. I think it might have mixed with the dry lube maybe a little bit. It's just causing a few little issues. Just get around it by doing this. That certainly worked. Music's decided to stop. You still watching? Yeah, we are. Yeah, it took me ages to find somewhere online to buy 6040 solder. It's all just lead free now. Well, I use Loctite brand solder. And you can get that in. It normally comes in 4 or 5 reels of the stuff, and you can buy it off of eBay. And the 4 or 5 reels cost you 20 quid. And it's the best stuff. I mean, Pexon recommended it to me. He uses it on all of his wires, everything like that. And so, no better recommendation for me really. And I've ever since then used it on all of my keyboard projects, and it solders really nicely, desolders really nicely, as you can see here. It's got a very good flow rate to it. I am desoldering at 320, so pretty much anything should have a relatively good flow rate. But I'd normally solder at something like 280 to 300, and it melts within seconds. I just got some multi-core from eBay. I believe they make the Loctite stuff. Oh, nice. I mean, if they make the Loctite stuff, then that's perfect. Okay. We've desoldered them all now, all the way around the board. So what we're just going to do, or what I'm just going to do, is I'm going to grab my part puller. So I've got a nice little part puller here. And we've got a little tub going spare. I don't think I have got a little tub spare at the moment, which is a bit of a pain. I've got a bunch of Gattistottles in here. Let's see if I can find a bag for these quickly. Lob them all into a bag. Oh, actually, I know what I can do. I can put demonic back in its drawer. Got a little drawer for all my demonic caps there. Need that. So let's just pull these up. So I'm hoping that they're all going to come up relatively easily here. There'll normally be one or two that'll stick and be a real pain in the ass to get up, but so that one there is a sticker. That one next to it's not though. Oh. Switch is just falling off onto the floor. Yeah, this is all coming off fairly easily so far. There's a couple that are that have stuck that we'll just re-add solder to. And then pull back up again. So I should show you this, guys. So all I'm doing is putting these the little ends on either side of the switches, releasing the little latches that are on the switches and just pulling them out. They're quite loose at the moment, so you can see the ones that I've left at the moment though, they're all well and truly stuck at the minute. Some of the mod ones don't want to come out at all. What TKO is on your desk? Is it your DD? What this one do you mean? This is the one that's on my desk right now is my Norbitouch. So it's the brand of Pi Norbag case with a lubed Novatouch inside of it. I guess by DD you mean daily driver. It's sort of become my daily driver a bit because I've been taking all of the other boards apart. Yeah, it's become my sort of go-to board at the moment. I did a stream the other day of taking the BKE heavies that were in it out. They ended up just getting a little bit too much for me, and so I decided to swap for something a little bit lighter. And the BKEs are now a thing of the past for me. I'm back to stock Tupra. Okay, so these are the switches that do not want to come out. They do not want to go into the box. So what I'm going to just do is add a little bit of solder to each of the offending pads that I can see. So I can see that this one here has got a little bit too much. Just making a little bit of a joint. This one here. Both of them on this one are ever so slightly. Sorry, you're not going to be able to see very well. I'm trying to have a good old look here. Both of them again. Done the same thing on all of them, just not quite gotten all of the solder up. Hopefully by lubing the desoldering pump, it's going to give it a little bit better suck. Much better. Much better. GLC, have you ever used a Nova Touch or a Norbauer before? Or a Nova Touch, or even a Real Force, saying that? Or are you not a fan of Topper? No, unfortunately I'm not. I like the idea of Topra, just haven't gone for it due to the price. Yeah, the Nova Touches are kind of very expensive. I mean, if you can find one on eBay or something like that, then go for one. But yeah, I know what you mean. It kind of sucks that there's this sort of very expensive aftermarket price. I managed to get mine for pretty cheap. I won mine on eBay for. I won my first one on eBay for about 100, and I sold that one. But this one is actually a guy called Idex. This is Idex Wheels Nova Touch. He was culling the collection a little bit and decided that the Nova Touch itself was to go. I think he actually had 2 Nova Touches, and one of the Nova Touches went into his Norbauer, which again I think he sold. I think he sold it to Guti, and it's one of Guti's prized possessions. I think Topper is something to save down the down the line for the road for me. Even sorry. Yeah, I mean Topper is not cheap, and I wouldn't ever say to skimp out on Topper. If you can get a Nova Touch, do, because the Nova Touch sliders are the smoothest, and they also come with the MX Crucifix, so it means that you've got immediate compatibility for all your lovely keycaps that you've been buying. Which does make life a trillion times easier. very nearly there now on desoldering this. I will give it a bit of a clean up off stream because got a bit of dust caught on it. Because this PCB is actually being sold. So this PCB itself is being sold to Daniel because I've got a upgraded PCB coming. The only difference between the PCBs is that this one doesn't support locking caps, locking switches, and the new one does. And Daniel doesn't use locking switches, and I love locking switches. Okay. Just going to try and get these all done because there's a cluster of these that need desoldering. At least the one over the far side is giving it a bit of stability. I can see why that one didn't desolder because I haven't done it. I can also see why that one didn't as well. Yeah, if you ever do find a Tokpa board online though for cheap, definitely do build one. They've got a really good thock and like nice tactile boards. They do have some interesting tactility to them. Okay, we're on to the last few switches now. I can see why a few of them aren't desoldering. I've missed out pads to be desoldered as I've gone around. There's a few that are still bridged. The ones in the middle are still bridged, but ever so slightly. But the ones that were there and here haven't been desoldered at all. It's the only reason I haven't desoldered the one that's on the that would be, what is it, insert delete, is because it's got a chip that's literally right next to it, so I think I need just to flip the board upside down. Yeah, they do make a really lovely sound, and on that point I should do a self plug actually, because I have got on my YouTube channel I have got a very, very recent stock domes typing test and a BKE Redux typing test. So let me just grab both of those for you so I can so the first one that I sent you just then is the stock domes, and the second video is the Redux domes, the lights. Do you know if the acrylic stands are limited, or do they restock them on MBUK? They restock them, so I believe that they are being cut by the acrylic dude that works alongside with them. I think that one is loose already. Yeah, that one is. Last switch, boys and girls. Sounds so good. Yeah, I mean it does really sound excellent. Go have a watch of some of the typing test videos. I'm going to be uploading some more on there in the next few days. I've got a couple of videos in the pipeline at the moment. and we are done. The board has no longer got any switches in it, so this should come apart. And there we go. It is now desoldered just nicely. And so that brings us to the end of the stream, unfortunately. I'm going to go back round and just tidy all of this up. There's a little, not burn marks, but marks on it all as you go around. And so all of that needs to be redone. I'll keep it here actually. So that needs to be redone. And I can turn the iron off now. But these are the remnants of the Mech27. These will get reused. They're really, really nice switches. I'm going to keep it like that for the picture. But yeah, these will get reused into one of the two Ace of Spades boards, or it could be put in the polycarb board, and they might well be suited for the polycarb quite nicely. They've got a nice thock to them, so maybe polycarb, maybe, but I'm not 100% sure. But this PCB is going to get sold to Daniel, and I'm going to be getting a complete copy of this, pretty much another replacement one. But that does bring us to the end of the stream, unfortunately, guys. I will be streaming next week. Next Saturday at 7 PM I'm going to be streaming again. I have got the KBD 8X that's here, and I'm going to be building that with ink switches for a customer build. So do pop on by and come chill out in here. But yeah, I've just posted the links to my YouTube channel. Hit a subscribe on there if you want to see some more of the content like that. The VOD, if you've joined halfway or anything like that, the VOD will go up on there as well. So yeah, but enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekends if you're in the UK, or the rest of your weekends if you're anywhere else in the world. And have a good one. See you soon, guys.